This is the HP OmniBook X Flip 14, and after spending a few weeks with it, I'd say it feels like the result of a very sensible committee meeting. It's practical, it's capable, and it never really puts a foot wrong, but it's not exactly going to get your pulse racing either. This particular version, the FM0020TU, and yes, that does sound like a Wi-Fi password, is probably the least exciting of HP's kind of confusing lineup, but the experience is basically the same across the range. It's a 2-in-1 convertible that folds in half so you can pretend it's a massive tablet. It's designed for students and professionals who want flexibility without the fuss, but does it actually deliver? Is it a jack of all trades, master of none? And more importantly, is it right for you? Let's find out. Welcome to the Tech Shed. Now, typically, HP's range is a bit of a maze. There's lots of similar models, slightly different specs, and names that sound like serial numbers. This one that I'm reviewing comes with an Intel Core Ultra 7 processor, a 14-inch 1920 by 1200 display, and 16 gigabytes of RAM. It usually sells for around $800 to $900 which puts it right where it needs to be. For roughly the same money, you could grab a Lenovo Yoga 7i, which starts around $850, and if your budget's a little bit tighter, the HP Pavilion X360 is a solid alternative around $600 to $700. So price-wise, as mentioned, this one is right where it should be. Now, the design is easily my favorite part about this device. It's all metal, sturdy, and it feels properly made. At 1.38 kilograms, it strikes a good balance. Enough weight to feel premium, but light enough to carry all day. The hinge is firm and steady, none of that cheap wobble you get on lower-end convertibles, and the port selection is excellent. 2 USB-A ports, 1 USB-C, 1 Thunderbolt 4, and HDMI 2.1. No dongles, no compromises, nicely done, HP. The display is a 14-inch IPS touchscreen with a 1920 by 1200 resolution and a 16 by 10 aspect ratio, which gives you a little extra vertical space. It's clear, crisp, and perfectly fine for productivity. It's not, however, going to blow you away. The 60Hz refresh rate is pretty standard, and while 400 nits of brightness is good indoors, it struggles in bright sunlight. Still, that's 100 nits better than Lenovo's Yoga 7i, so it's not all bad news. Colors are decent, but compared to OLED panels, it's always going to look a bit flat. The touchscreen works well enough, though smaller buttons, think the X on a web page, can take a few extra taps, and the on-screen keyboard in tablet mode can be a little slow to appear, but that could possibly be just a Windows thing. I didn't get HP's tilt pen to test stylus support, but if you're planning to draw with your fingers, maybe reconsider. It's simply not the most accurate touchscreen I've ever used. The latticeless keyboard, yes, I've learned a word, is an interesting choice. The keys are large but very tightly spaced and flatter than usual. Now, it's designed this way so they don't press against the body when flipped into tablet mode. It's fair reasoning, but it does take some getting used to. Once you've adjusted, it's fine for typing, it's just not especially comfortable, and accidental multi-key pressing quickly becomes a regular annoyance. The touchpad is a good size and accurate enough, but it could be a bit more sensitive, particularly for things like right-clicking. Like much of this laptop, it's capable, but it just doesn't really stand out. Now, the performance capabilities are right where they should be for the target audience. The Intel Core Ultra 7 with 16 gigabytes of RAM handles daily work without breaking a sweat. Web browsing, office apps, multitasking, all very smooth. But don't get this for heavy video editing or gaming. HP also highlights the Neural Processing Unit, or NPU. That's a dedicated chip designed for AI tasks, handling things like live captions, smart camera framing, and image generation in Windows 11's Copilot+. Another AI program. It does these jobs faster and more efficiently than the CPU or GPU, and it does work well, but if you're not particularly interested in AI tools, you won't really notice it doing much in the background. The battery life is good. In testing, I got between 6 and 9 hours of mixed use. Not record-breaking, but solid and reliable. Enough for a workday, a full class schedule, or a long coffee shop session. Your mileage will vary depending on what you're doing, obviously, but overall, it's consistent. So, the HP OmniBook X Flip 14. It's a solid 2-in-1 that does exactly what it sets out to do. Performance is smooth, battery life holds up well, and the build quality genuinely feels premium for the price. It's reliable and practical, but it doesn't really stand out. The keyboard and the display are really where it falls a bit short. The keyboard takes some getting used to, and the display is just a bit meh. The touchscreen works, but it can be a little fussy with smaller taps. The AI features do add a bit of modern flair, but there's nothing here that truly excites. If you're after something flashier or a little more high-end, you'll find that further up HP's range. This is built to get the job done without fuss, and to be fair, it does that pretty well. So that's my review. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, feel free to hit the like button. If you didn't like it, feel free to ask any questions down below. And if you loved it, consider hitting that subscribe button. You've been watching The Tech Shed, and I will see you in the next one.